Greetings and welcome everyone to the space. Welcome. Welcome here. Welcome back. We are discussing and also expanding and opening more deeply through this meeting juncture. And am called this now, the end of March 2026, here in this space with all of you beautiful souls to share a discussion and also sound and light, structural information for what's next to implement, and with that, what's needed. What I'm guided to share very prominently in this now is that in order to, and as we parallelly implement oneness and unity with all of these changes, structural changes, energetic changes, releases, recalibrations, physical changes, earth changes, we could say leadership of our sovereign leadership within ourselves and each other, how we structure and appoint our daily experiences, all of it is changing so rapidly. And to unify with, of course, from the very base point within ourselves and ripple out into each and every one, and even amplify further, ripple out with everywhere, is to come into cosmic forgiveness, right? And what exactly do I mean by that? We're going to discuss and also create this sanctuary of sound and light to immerse into, to allow ourselves to experience that from the very base point within ourselves all the way out into the vast abyss, known and unknown, so that in these next non-linear junctures, as we begin into new energy, April, vastly different into the accelerations and what's required for our next steps, and very deeply with what's rising to be seen, receding away, rinsing about, even, some of these things that we could not even imagine to be seeing and witnessing of others, or, behind the scenes information, things that have been underway. And we could say that on Earth, but actually, of course, it goes out into the vast abyss of space. There are, misalignments have been deep misalignments, and we could say, use the word corruptions, etc., that are coming into right order right now, right? So what that means is bringing all and everyone into honorable neutrality requires, whether we know it or not, or can fully see some of the experiences, or do we even need to, is the other aspect. We don't. But to have that compassion and unwavering acceptance, release, purification, cosmic forgiveness of all of it, right? Of all of it. And whether we know, known or unknown, real or perceived, some of it even, we could say perceived. Is it even that? Do we even need to know what that is? The inversions and the confusions and all the distortions. We don't need to go there to rinse and suds, so to speak, rinse, suds, clear, neutralize, come into full acceptance and clarity, because we actually do need that for full unity with each other, with each other on earth, with each other and all others, all beings, races, out to places and spaces we might not even know about yet, right? And so, and actually, even just as an aside to that, I feel that many times, we could say many times, but some of those things, some of these instances, of occurrences of these matters, weren't even with full awareness of, right? So we can just allow ourselves to come into full forgiveness. I mean, we could say cosmic forgiveness, meaning universally, compassionately, neutrally, coming into harmony, right? With all the things that we're seeing or have seen, experienced or have, or perhaps someone we know, right? And so to me, what I was, especially this morning, I was feeling this last night. And of course, this is timeless because it's essential at any moment. However, it was very precisely the way it was unfolding to me, I mean, quite literally unfolding to me geometrically of the structure of the base for building and needing that, we could say blank slate, needing that clear, completely clear, harmonized forgiveness, all the way from the very interior of the one cell, when that base beginning point of creation, we could say was, has been, and echoing into this now to come into full cellular from the one, the beginning base point of conception, founding relations, anything, anyone, anywhere from those very base creation moments into any and all timelines, any and all inversions, any and all, we could say, experiences, undulations, even rotations. There's been lots of different overlays and disharmonic frequency modulation, right? And even DNA modulation, you want to use the word modulation, modification, all of it, right? All of it, any ounce of any um, imprintation on any pure state that has continuously replicated, if we want to say it that way, replicated itself cellularly, genetically, frequency, energetically, through time, through space, through any being known and unknown. Even if I feel like even now, as I'm witnessing so much on so many different octaves and waves, that some of these beings, even you could say human beings or others, others that are here in incarnation, don't even have the full awareness of what's been in the repetition of things, right? And we can also forgive that and them, right? They're not knowingness. And even if they do have knowingness, to whatever extent, because what's happening, we've talked about this before, if you've seen me talk about this, is that no matter what, the divine orchestration and the harmony and motion for pure undulation and return right now is that nothing of any distortion will be able to, and is, even is, able to take shape, right? So any of it, any creation or any undulation of this wasness, that was created in this way is falling apart, right? Collapsing away, showing itself to be seen, and then collapsing away in reconfiguration, over and over until and as, and that's what I was seeing this morning, was the geometric configuration is actually layered over, um, this was our 2 weeks ago, I believe. Our sound immersion was the 4 foundational codes, and now we're going into April, which is 4. I mean, supposedly we made up these numbers of months, but supposedly the number of 4 is foundation, but that's actually really the energy we're going into is new foundations for pure state creations, which means that this geometry and these layers of new structures, different configurations, not necessarily new energy of source. Oneness energy is pure, but it's a different configuration to implement now, here, right here. And in order to actually anchor and integrate that structural change, which already is here from the, we could say, 4-4 foundation of original gestation, the creation codes of when that so-called before of creation, before all was and as all was created in this beautiful love story of creation as that occurred and undulated through that, how, see how things have rippled through and shifted over time in its own evolution, right? Creation's greatest experiencing of itself. And so now that we're here in this space, the space of no place, no time, we could say April, new energy, but foundational energy for what's next, right? And everything, there's no exception, is being seen, cleared, rinsed, released, dissolved, reconfigured. And it's very important that this structural light to build new foundations has the clarity and purity of cosmic forgiveness, meaning that whatever it is, known or unknown, real or perceived, however messy, entangled, however you want to call it, with articulated words, that we're going to come in this space where we already are right now and bring this harmonic forgiveness to all, for all, everywhere, known and unknown, through time and space, every time, I could say every timeline, and every configuration, imprintation, inversion, distortion, experiential, that has rippled into this now. Because it's very high time. We can say many things, as I'm sure many of us are seeing this all day or throughout our day, of these next things, or the UFOs lining up on your lawn, and we're bringing all this stuff, to learn from these technologies and all that. And that's great. However, if we don't look at, which we are, there's no if we don't, but right now we look at cosmic forgiveness is the base requirement in this, we could say, ending and beginning of cycles, end of March, into for foundation, April, new foundations, is that has to be all cleared out, right? Because otherwise people can bring all kinds of things, all kinds of places, new information, right? You can do all these extra things, but until and unless we have a clear slate to build upon, all the way through the base into the core, through our base into our core, that how shall that sustain itself, right? So I thank you so much for tuning in today. And so we're going to go on a journey through parallel time and space as all is unfolding now, to, we could say, get to that next juncture of creation and building. And so we will weave with sound, with tone, and with frequencies, and very specifically, precisely toned energy. And I'll just share a brief overview in case you haven't, is that we look at frequency, right? If we look at, for example, light frequency in the form of a code, right? In that code is a structure. And in that light, the way that I utilize sound and light, I give it a function. And so that that code has a sound associated with it and a geometry, we could say, and somatically, as I sing and tone it, I layer it multidimensionally so that when it's moving through the, say, the cellular system, the energy body, the field, the morphogenetic field, the earth field, the ley lines, all of that all at once, that those movements of the frequency imbued with the instructionality of the function is what is actually creating the motion of release, dissolution, reconfiguration, expansion, activation, and a multitude of other things. This is a base explanation to have an understanding of it's beyond creating sounds that, they sound nice and feel very relaxing, right? They have very precise function the way that I'm layering them and very specific intentionality so that that light and structure creates and simultaneously dissolves, recreates. And in that, what comes from there is very profound because it's very specific. So I invite you in the space where you are to get more comfortable as we journey into cosmic forgiveness. Individually, we could say individually, but go in the base point parallelly of all time and space, all time, all timelines, all experiences, all energies known and unknown, even real and perceived. Because what's very important to comprehend is that as those things are happening, right? Say we're dissolving something now, everything's happening now, right? So when we dissolve something and clear and neutralize it now, there is no past life timeline, right? Some people think so, but my perception, there's not. So what that means is that we're clearing it now. That obliterates this before parallel, which isn't before. It's clearing that slate of the parallel now, which is changing the infinity of potential for this now, which is the only thing there is this present moment now, right? And so what it's also doing because of that, it's clearing all of the layers, all of the fields, and even the memory field, the morphogenetic field, clearing that, which in this now means that the future, which is still now, is going to be different, right? Because that so-called before of what many people even get into this entangled attachment with is the storyline or the trauma or the emotion of the before or the timeline of what happened somewhere with who or this is, this way is clearing that energy out completely changes the now and the later. So that's why it's so important that and so guided in this particular nonlinear juncture, just before, no pun intended, but just before April for foundation creation, is to clear all the slates, all the times, and all the timelines with all of you because you're all weaving in the field too, which means that as you weave and co-weave and clear and excavate and dissolve and reconfigure within yourself cellularly, multidimensionally, everywhere you are through time and space, imagine that magnitude of ripple for all, right? So this is huge. This is huge. So are you ready? No pressure. This is huge. So let's change the past that doesn't exist, which is parallel. Let's change the now, which is now, and also change the future, which doesn't exist, which is later, because we're creating this vast spaciousness for the field of infinity to land itself in foundational purity. So it's an honor to be here with you today. It's a magnitude. Let's go on a journey through light, through structure, through geometry, which, by the way, has already entered the space before we began this intro. Here is the geometry of the configuration I was seeing within the foundational creation of the blueprint and geometry. And so that is anchored here in the space as well. By the ultimate purity, righteousness, honor, full clarity, releasing cosmically, releasing through forgiveness, dissolving into harmony, neutrality, into complete purity. Just feel our breaths for a moment. Feel why we landed right here in the space. Feeling the magnitude of our soul, their luminosity, and our grandiosity in these changes, and these creations of new foundations, building what's next. And as we breathe through our pure tone pillar, I invite everyone to feel into the stardust within your bones, the liquid laser light within the plasma of your blood, your beating heart, your crystalline luminous heart. And feel toric togetherness, your heart beating through the stardust, your ancient soul, breathing, beating cosmos, feeling the stars around the earth, feeling the stars, the galaxy, Milky Way, feeling yourself travel through and beyond, out and through parallel universes, soundverses, through the multiverse, out into the infinity, the cosmic ocean, all of creation, vibrating in motion. A sense complete, vast infinity. Breath, the abyss of all and nothing. The abyss. Where the unison of all is before anyone, anywhere, anything was created through thought. Just feel your breath in the vast ocean, the cosmic abyss. Breathing the knowingness, the purity, the integrity, the luminosity, light, creation, ocean. And as you feel the base, the beginning, the before, endless now, rotating, gyrating, knowing the union of all timelines, all tapestry, all intentionality, and all harmonies are happening right here, right now. Konongo mai onko songo to mai. Where everyone is, right here. And it's here, this merging point, all and nothing. The harmonic symphony, all of creation, come into forgiveness. Anything ever set into motion, any and all distortion, imprintation, inversion through all of time and space held right here in the infinity of oneness, in the luminous crystalline clarity, divinity of the one unified heart, the one unified infinite thought. We breathe our knowingness, dissolution of anything we've ever experienced or witnessed may have hurt our heart. Disruption, disturbance, distraction, any of it, all of it, doesn't matter who or why. From where, don't need to understand it. Don't need to go through the emotions, the hallway revisitation. Here in this universality of all parallel realities, just place our attention on the purity and the divinity that is, that has always been righteous, pure, luminous, and here within the double permeation crystal of our pure essence, come into cosmic forgiveness. Anywhere, nowhere, everyone, everywhere. Whether it was our experiences we've had this lifetime, any other lifetime, something we've heard, seen, we know may come, all of it, just sit right here. Place our awareness. Song no mai komo koshon kono kui kon kaito. Just place our awareness on all, nothing. And as any and all of those, and thus, and thine, any of those beings, souls, people, places, anyone associated with known, real, perceived, however long, however many eons it's continued. We know in our hearts that pure creation is now reconfiguring all of it back into complete simultaneous dissolution of all distortion, all confusion, all distraction. Any disharmonic frequency, tone, overlay, inversion, all of it. From the very base point through all layers, all timelines, all of that's right here. Everyone associated right here. Whether they know, whether we know why, circumstances, anything to come, to be revealed, to be seen, to collapse, reconfigure, none of it can stay. The structure, the purity of light. It's all over. Kaima koana kaima no kayana kasho. We forgive all the delivery drivers on the road today. Forgive everyone, everywhere. Everything's happening now. It's all parallel. Full sovereignty. Everyone is free. Everywhere is free. All dimensionality is free. Even free from limitation of these definitionless. It's a made up word. We will see, if we haven't already. Now, also that whatever that means, we will see the collapse and reconfiguration of this false guru, teacher. There's this layer that was created to create distortion with some percentage of truth, with a lot of distortion within that. That's all going to is now collapse. Forgiven. Dukushumaya kaya ta satanga sikanamaka nakapanamaka nakabadonga sikamanaka it's interwoven with the entanglement of the embed and inversion frequencies from those all happening now. Collapse, reconfiguration, back into right order, harmonic. Harp string, Sukumayakai is still in forgiveness. However, alongside the forgiveness, will be seen to some extent. Tokumai sai, we gently offer those compassion, understanding, grace, forgiveness, kindness. Allow them to find their way. And in that, we also say thank you for allowing in those experiences that we see that we've always been our own teacher. No one is over anyone. You're sovereign, aware, completely aware to make your own choices. Step reflection has been of that separation, something, someone outside having answers. You already know. Some of that was actually malformed and created incorrectly in the interruption within the DNA sequences that were programmed differently. Oh, kunai in forgiveness. Sukumashayakai from the interruption, disturbance, distraction. Everything can be overridden with right order and is. Nothing else can hold shape. And so the luminosity of the DNA structures in the divine, unique configurations within each and every one through these cosmic forgiveness return into pure state foundation, true architectural implementation. Innately, as we allow ourselves to clear into forgiveness, misunderstanding, and the emotion. associated with. Anything, anyone, anywhere. Innately our pure coherent state rewrites its own self into divine harmonic, intelligent architecture. Komai kitomikai, and your very specific biology structure. Komai kainokitai. In your evolving, upgrading systems. Komai kai. Utonko sukumpataya kai nakito kushumakaya nikokai. Tokushomo noko makinai hita hina 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 hungai hungu. As we let go of and into cosmic forgiveness, everything, everyone, everywhere, real, perceived, known, unknown. We innately instead a grandiose luminosity in our divine sovereignty. Brilliance. We're so brilliant, aren't we? Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Brilliant. Wow. Just give a moment to take a nice deep breath into the universe, into the universality of all that is, beyond our multidimensionality, beyond the Earth, beyond the Milky Way galaxy, beyond, out and beyond into the vast abyss of the allness of everywhere, the grand merge of all of the timelines. I'm so curious to hear how you all experienced that. Wow, that was really fascinating. Feeling all, everyone, everywhere, real or perceived, known or unknown. Even I say real or perceived because some of these storylines, right? Some of these storylines have been retold and told and retold and told, and some of them aren't even true, right? Or that's the story that was thought. That created another thing that really wasn't a thing. So my point of doing that and saying that is whether we don't need to know, was it really, or what were the details, and when did that happen, what was the timeline? This is all irrelevant. To collaborate it into this gigantic forgiveness cosmically. And the grandiosity of cosmically is so huge. And there is so much taking place beyond of the beyond. And why I say that all the time, I'm sure many of you have heard me say that, maybe not all the time, but quite frequently, is because there are so many misperceptions, right? And one of them is that there's, numbered dimensions, right? There's 15 dimensions or whatever certain people are saying. Let me let you know, if you don't already, that there have been distortions well beyond here, right? Other dimensional planes have had massive disruption, and actually even we could say councils and collaborations have had lots of corruption, right? So we're forgiving all of that right now where we are, where we have already in this space, because we don't need to give numbers to or define or need to know, when Sally pulled Susie's hair or anything. Whatever. It doesn't, it's not important to know that, to allow it to dissolve away so that we can step into our new next moment. If we're really, and we are, I say if because I'm asking others, is this what they're referencing? As we are really talking about unity consciousness that goes vastly beyond humanity, right? It goes vastly beyond this galaxy. It goes vastly beyond any galaxy. It goes vastly beyond everywhere, whether or not there are forms, even, right? Sound versus multiverses, parallel universes, out into the vast abyss where, there's not even perhaps even emotions associated with beings. They don't even necessarily comprehend what it is they've been in the pattern of doing. Still, totality of dissolution, reconfiguration, right? Order, readjustment, and restructuring for this base foundation includes all of it. Did you hear that? I guess we have a confirmation. And so that includes all of it, right? Everyone, everywhere, known or unknown. Some really interesting weather things happening while we're doing this. So we're just going to take a moment and ground all that energy in. Just breathe. And what's so important about any offering that I have ever offered, by the way, session, one-on-one, immersion, in person, online, say you did a download even of a meditation, right? When you're experiencing these light structural frequencies, you are embodying that, right? You are anchoring that where you are, which means that has changed the ley line. That is through all of the multidimensionality of every place, space, known and unknown, out into the infinity of the all and nothing of the abyss. So it's huge when you come into these spaces and co-weave and collaborate with the intentionality and pure tone frequencies of these. I don't even think transmission is even a possibility for a word articulation of what we're experiencing, because they really are immersive, structural, light frequency, technological. They are transforming, shifting, and evolving everything, everyone, everywhere, by every experience, even if it's for 5 seconds you tune in, however you receive it, however you integrate it, wherever you walk, everywhere you breathe, everywhere your heart beats. Any moment that you come into remembrance, as you come into remembrance of forgiveness, of compassion, of love, of eternal, unconditional love, grace, collaboration, acceptance. There's all kinds of other energies too: peace, harmony, flow, kindness, all of it. It's forever undulating. Everyone you meet, everywhere you walk, everything you do, every breath you take. And with that, I'm so deeply grateful that you're here in the space, weaving, changing, transforming, and shifting reality, especially in this moment of new foundational recalibration and recreation into and vastly beyond our gestation, right? We're creating a new world. So bless you. Like this cup, we're just going to take a moment to allow that energy to flow in, sharing a side of my cup. And also, I had recently talked about forgiveness Maybe not cosmic forgiveness. I got some metallic eyeliner, thinking it would be fun, and my eyelid didn't like it so much. So I forgive the eyeliner. I forgive myself for wanting metallic eyeliner. And so we have some fun with the cup and the eyeliner anyways in our break. And unioning of anchoring all of this energy. Do we need to know all of the, answers to the questions? Especially when we see something that may not make sense to our conscious awareness, right? When we're evolving as we're evolving, and when we're full awareness, some of these things you're like, why would that even happen, right? How can someone or something do that? And we don't need to know that, right? It's not about that. It's about creation is experiencing itself, has itself, every range of emotion, and if and as and how anyone has accumulated anything from those, we forgive it cosmically. Because to come into full purity, full unity, we must. And so we are, and we did, and we have. And I thank you. It is done. It is finished. Blessed soul. What that means is it's done, it's finished. Blessed soul, all is forgiven. Blessed soul. And we move on to the next thing. New foundations. Pure. Loving hearts. Intentions. Full honor. Full honor and integrity for the luminosity, oneness, Creator, God, whatever names we like to use, same energy, full integrity, full love, kindness, and so it is. I look forward to seeing you next time. I hope you found this expansive, most certainly releasing for all, monumentous. I thank you for coming into the space, offering your love, your intentions, and changing and weaving the world and vastly beyond into the cosmos together. One person, one intention really does change everything. Wishing you so much alignment, so much love, and no metallic eyeliner. I will see you next time.